this year. Final Four team a couple of years back. Tonight they hope to play the role of spoiler. They get the Florida Gators, who are currently, according to Joe Lunardi, an 8th seed. With a loss, they drop to a 9
spot. Offensively, not as much firepower. Defensively, Auburn could be better tonight. Expect a lot of zone out of these guys in white.
Florida, the Road Blues. You see Trey Mann, Noah Locke, Tyree Appleby. Really 3 guards, even though Mann's a forward. They go small, but Castleton makes up for it with his size, and DeRuggi is a good rebounder. He has the ball at the free throw line, threw it up, followed it up strong, and keeps going after it. Third time, Thor with the block. Good effort by DeRuggi, but denied.
Yeah, my guy DeRuggi, he's rebounding against the other 9 guys on the floor. He's rebounding against Auburn and Florida the entire ball game. You wonder where Florida is mentally in this ball game, because they were probably told about 90 minutes ago, no Cooper on the floor. Did they exhale and think, okay, we got this, and relax? Man, if that's the case, that is not what you want as a head coach. And Mike White, what he saw automatically was, okay, Cooper's not on the floor. All right, now our first 2 defensive possessions, just not engaged at all. He did the same thing in the last ball game against Georgia, trying to get his guys' attention. Will they now respond?
Well, they brought in Scotty Lewis, and he's able to get the
Flanagan. Defensively, you don't want him to get in foul trouble. That's why I think we will see major minutes of zone out of Auburn in this game, and they're in it right now.
Wes Glover on the floor. Osai Osifo has been banged up. He's on the floor as well. 15 in blue. Offensive rebound, Trey Mann, and a floater. Jamal Johnson wide open 3. No good. Devin Cambridge, the offensive glass. Look out.
The guys that are making 9 threes a game for Auburn are still on the floor. The problem is the assist man is not, and just a lack, severe small guard. He's probably 5'10". You have to do 2 things at the next level. Produce. And every coach out there is trying to zero in on the 7, 8 guys, whatever it is, that I can count on and trust. It's time to win ball games now. Every game feels different. Even this one right now. Florida, you've already mentioned it. Right now, so now you've got the 2nd and 3rd and 4th handlers trying to bring that thing up. If you're Mike White, change your defenses. Don't let Flanagan get comfortable at that point guard spot. And apply pressure, man. That's what you do when you catch a team without their quarterback like Auburn has tonight. They have none.
Well, it's so bad. Flanagan's not even on the floor right now. Another turnover leads to a Scotty Mitchell highlight.
He's going to win all the straight line plays. A straight line drive, a straight line run through a pass. There's no one built in this league any better. That's the only way Auburn stays in this game, is they make 12, 13 threes on you. And if you're Florida and you give up 1 in transition, that's on you.
3 blocks, and all-around great effort against
Jambo. This kid is so good, man, Ravi. You know as well.
Of 7.
Yeah, it's hard to get a transition 3 when the pass is made on the same side of the floor. The back side of the play that time had a wide, I believe it was Cambridge on the back side, the opposite 3rd. Yep. Get that ball reversed, man, in your conversion offense, something good will happen.
Trey Mann left alone, knocks it down. Good year for Trey Mann, who's developed as a player. All his numbers across the board are up.
Ravi, Trey Mann is playing with joy. You can't measure it with analytics, but it's just as important as any analytic number you can put on a kid or on a player.
Good hustle from behind. It leads to an alley-oop by Anthony DeRuggi. Jamal Johnson, poor shooting for Auburn, down to 20%. 2 of 10 from the floor. 2 of 8 from 3. And down by 10. Trey Mann, he's got 11. Trey Mann.
And the double team just forced the pass out. Bad vision. Florida just having their way, Ravi, early.
DeRuggi travel. You said it, but that requires them, as you mentioned, since 1952 to go win 4 games in a row. The only way they get in is to win the tournament.
That's the only way. There's just not enough on their resume. Their
Nets, Texas A&M, but due to COVID protocols within the A&M, but you had a chance to keep your momentum going, and you lose that.
Or to ever play at the NCAA level. 12 and White's going to get some minutes tonight.
Hebrew name means my light. Let's see if he can light it up from 3. He's a good shooter. Instead, JT Thor able to rattle one in. Pull him back with high school team is LSU's big fella Trenton Watford. Trey Mann. Yes, sir. Right on line for Mann, who's got 14.
Putting severe pressure on the rim the first 3 or 4 seconds. They just don't have that guy tonight. It's going to have to come out of the half-court offense.
Boy, Lewis, like a safety, stood in front of Thor. They forced the pass into him, and he picked it off. Scotty thought he was...
That also says bad shots taken and hold guys more accountable. Trey Mann would have 0 so far in this game if we did track that.
Easy. Trey Mann, high arcer doing work tonight. Trey Mann to 6-4
at one point in that possession, like all 5 guys were on the one side of the white line, and they quickly got it balanced. A really good fix by Florida within the possession. Auburn's offense is what it is tonight, but defensively, they should be better because Sharife Cooper not always engaged defensively. And Bruce Pearl still has the dudes on the floor that can cause some problems. Don't rotate over, and DeRugi's going to make it a problem.
Devin Cambridge met DeRugi at the rim.
Guy to leave the floor, they can catch that ball up top.
Castleton dribbled right into traffic, then he turned into traffic. 2 on the shot clock. Appleby no good. There's DeRugi. That time ball.
Yeah, DeRugi is quickly becoming one of my favorite guys in this league, man. His energy, his toughness, his focus. DeRugi doesn't do stuff that Wilson really playing well. And Kansas have never been less than a 4 seed under Bill Self, and that will continue this year. They are not going to slide to a 5 or a 6. Playing the best ball at the best time of the year.
Big 12 bracketology there on the left side of your screen by Joe Lenardi. Scotty Lewis hesitated, still knocks down a 3. 8% from the floor. Jimmy, it's 30-13, 4:40 to go in the first half. What does Florida gain from a game like this? Because you see what direction it's on the floor, 11 minutes. Only Mann's played. And a lockdown defender, it just felt like maybe Lewis would do the same. Ooh, Osifo gets blocked. Another one there, Jalen Williams. Flanagan on the floor.
Parkview. So although he hasn't...
Flanagan spending a lot of time with Trainer.
And have at least 90 attempts at the rim. Like some uncommon, cool stuff about Sharife Cooper in the 12 games that we've seen.
Easy lane for the layup from Appleby.
We talked last week about Florida is so good at the duck-in stuff. Duck in to score and duck in to seal. Probably the best in this league at doing it.
Although at some point you're wondering where is Flanagan going with the ball, and you try to take advantage of him getting up. And
you know how Ravi is with you and I. Those questions are coming out of left field at rapid pace.
That's right, like a constant pop quiz. You just never know. Keep you on your toes. Ooh, good drive there.
What kind of play was it? Another straight line drive. A straight line play by Scotty Lewis. He's going to win 99 out of 100.
Watch out. Appleby threw it even too high for the high jumper. DeRugi, but then he finds a cutting Lewis with the left. Kentucky not playing tonight. A&M with the COVID pro credibility for a team that without him doesn't look like they'd win a game in the SEC right now. Noah Locke, his favorite spot's the corner, and he knocks
a really early transition ball screen by Florida. They got it to the dive guy who found the backside bomb, and a really good job of finding it. The opponents have scored 82 or more, and they're tracking that number again tonight. Florida going to be right at 40 or beyond in the first half.
Lewis, have your
performance from Scotty Lewis. You get this kid going with everything else that Mike White has to work with, you're looking at a second weekend team. I firmly believe that.
You know, and their best player has been Colin Castleton. Castleton not getting a lot of minutes tonight. He's got 1 point. Block at the rim by Williams. Good follow up there.
Take that shot. Don't take that shot. I don't know if it's Mike White or one of the guys on the floor, but really good communication, reminding Florida, forget about the score.
Get things going, 6 o'clock Eastern time.
A barn burner in Bud Walton Arena. Move the ball starting at 8. You're at 8. We got to go. We got to go.
Lewis, did he wait too long, Jimmy? Dribble too deep?
Screen!
Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me.
Second play. Mike White's talking him through it. Got it.
Alley-oop. Underneath the basket was Castleton. They used Lewis as the decoy.
In this first half, man, 50% from the field, 50% from the three-point line. Are your guys still engaged in terms of fighting and trying to win and all those things? And he said it's been a challenge for him. And it's understandable when you're at Auburn right now, and now you're without Cooper tonight, and you can kind of question, well, what are we playing for? Keith Cooper and Justin Powell. And you just have to take your hit this year if you're Auburn and correct and say point. You're sliding the guy over from an off-guard spot to the point guard spot. And Auburn has had to remake themselves 3 times this year. Begin the season without Cooper and Powell, then without Powell, and then with Cooper, and now without both of them.
Trey Mann, he ran himself out of the...
An uncommon quality in terms of passing the basketball off the bounce and not guard his spot right now. And guys have like Jalen Johnson right now, the digs on Jalen Johnson, because that's a... In that league, you can either help us win or you can't. That's the bottom line when you're trying to be an NBA player.
Lewis, Sharif should come back. He used, look, if you're a first-round pick, you got to go. But if not, or you're better off coming back. And SportsCenter will have much more, of course, the bottom line as well.
Ravi, no one has changed a sport by himself more than Tiger Woods changed golf. He made golf cool.
Yeah.
And he made it okay if you're a really good athlete to choose.
His 4th major championship or major events and sit every tour player down. Do I have to go out and buy a small now? Because look at how ripped he is.
Yeah, you know, for as many strides as Scotty Lewis has gone forward in this game, one control of the game, but well, if you're Mike White, you want Castleton to have a good 8 or 9 minutes, whatever he's going to be on the floor to close out this game and make sure his motor and his enthusiasm, his confidence doesn't waver.
Right. There's a tough pass, and it was a good catch. And how about that little touch? Not an easy.
No one in college ball the last 15 years has been as good of a Bruce Pearl coach team on their inbounds, out-of-bounds pressure.
Trey Mann weaved his way through everybody, got it to Castleton, and he'll get
in ball games. Is shooting 23% from the three-point line and 67% for your guy's a stud. He's going to be fine, but he's got the Auburn now 3 for 19 or 20 from the three-point line in this game. They come in averaging 9 or 10 makes. The only chance they had in this ball game was to hit their number of threes or go beyond. Just not doing it.
I mean, I played in high school. Never once did.
It's the comfort factor for kids these days. You see overall than maybe the nation thinks when Missouri's a top 25 team, and right now they're sitting there as a 6 seed. And LSU is they frustrate me. I know they frustrate ability, man, is what drives the great ones. And we've got, I think we got some great teams this year, Ravi. A lot of times we throw around no. I'm speechless.
First or second half will convict you the next day on film. Look what the film does. Think about that.
I have thought about writing a book about what the film doesn't lie.
I would do it. It's guaranteed to catch fire. To get the ball up once it gets in.
Shoot it.
I don't know if it hit the rim or not. Did it?
Turned that thing over 3 times in a row.
59. That was January 2nd at the Allen Fieldhouse. Did not go down, and that's a position Bill Self is used to. We've never been worse than a 4 seed, and Jimmy says it's not going to happen again this year.
You know, Ravi, Bill Self and I were on the same staff at Oklahoma State under Eddie Sutton, and talking to Bill Sunday, he said, Jimmy, I got him playing like Coach Sutton is playing when he said, we're playing like Coach Sutton would be proud. I still think there's only one team in the Big 12 that can win the whole thing. That's Baylor. You have not won one since 2000 if you're in the Big 10.
Right.
But those are the 8.
Ooh. Osai had not only nobody in his home country playing basketball. His really experience with basketball was dribbling soccer balls, but he's a kid that grew up on rugby, and his teammates on the rugby team said, no basketball for you.
And how about the beautiful name, meaning that God made to overcome pressure? What is...
Appleby, late dish, Castleton, nice hands. Ball was down here.
These days, these kids want to play with the best of the best around there in their area. Sharif Cooper was the main recruiter for J.T. Thorpe. Into a ball screen, man, that is very, very difficult. In his first week as a head coach, has continued over. And they run great stuff, and they are exceptional, Michigan, at the basic parts of the game. Limit their turnovers, make their free throws, and they got that anchor on the inside. That is, they are a real deal. The roster was released this afternoon, and Michigan has 3 guys on that McDonald's American roster, the most of any team in the country. So not only Juwan Howard getting it done as a coach, getting it done as a head coach to go from unranked.
And followed a guy that had great success there in Beeline.
Yes.
That's hard to do alone.
Yes. You think of the next guy that works with me on Tuesdays down the road one of these days. By yourself, sending the message, there's no ball screen coming. I love hearing that stuff, man. I love hearing teams talk defensively.
Flanagan all the way, and he can't. Arkansas's got a legitimate chance, I know.
In Arkansas, can you defend the selfish and as connected as anyone we have, not only in the SEC, but in the country? If you haven't watched Arkansas so far this year, watch that game tomorrow night. The 2 best teams in this league will be going at it. I don't think Arkansas can win the national championship. Can they beat Alabama tomorrow night 6 games in a row?
Okay.
And it's interesting to me, Ravi, Alabama, think about this. In the last 20 years, I talked with Joe Lunardi today about it. A 1-loss team in a Power 5 conference in conference play has always been a 1.
Kansas, Texas, not part of Jimmy's 8 is enough, but they'll be playing against each other as soon as we are done here. All Gators tonight. No Sharif Cooper. Missed the entire night. Chancey misses the rest. Flanagan extended that arm, and that's an offensive uniform.
Well, you're missing 20 points, 8 assists. The guy that gets to the free throw line 9 or 10 times a ball. Those second-round picks or non-draft draft picks are going to stick. Those second-round guys, those 2 Reef Cooper, to work through.
The G League is loaded with those guys. As you mentioned, the window gets smaller and smaller to get to the NBA. As Cambridge knocks down a 3. Closest it's been is 15 points in the second half.
You know, Florida's still only 13 turnovers in the game, I believe, Ravi. They've been on that number for a while. That's a winnable number. Getting above that is not. 13 on the road against an Auburn team I don't think Bill Self and his guys like.
A Sonic blockbuster, and then East Lansing, number 4.
I can't help you, man. You're on your own trying to clear security. You mentioned that Ohio State-Michigan game over the weekend. I'm all on board. I think the best was superb. It was grown man, eyeball to eyeball, conversation. Yes, sir, shake your head. Don't shrink from hard coaching. Those teams now, they set the standard in how this game's supposed to look this year. I know Gonzaga and Baylor have set.
Ball coach took Michigan to the College World Series. Build the baseball program. So the basketball and
tomorrow night in Bud Walton Arena. Arkansas didn't play Saturday.
They mirror each other in a lot of ways with their philosophies. A lot of threes, tough defense. You see Nate and Musselman walking down the street. You just go Nate Muscle Oats. You know,
they are Sweet 16 good again. Good job, Ravi. Feel sorry for the guy that has to replace you someday.
Look forward to tomorrow night when we'll see Arkansas and Alabama at 9 Eastern time on ESPN2. They'll let it go, and it's Florida 74, Auburn 57. Mann has 19, Lewis has 16 for the Eckerd.